Right, morning all. It's another vlog from DJ Tazzy M on the trucks. Okay, so I'm about to set out, get my wagon up for a service. I was just sitting here today thinking about certain things as I do. You know, if you've seen any of the other videos, you'll notice that I'll be talk about different things, and one thing that not a lot of people actually talk about, usually because of minorities, is workplace institutionalised racism. It's almost like a taboo. So, you know, over the years I've worked for various different companies. For a lengthy amount of times you'll get that so-called, how do you say, promotion comes up or vacancies come up. You want to kind of escalate and move forward because you think, you know, why not? I'm able to do it, I know what the business is about, and sometimes it don't really pan out like that. It doesn't matter what you know, it's usually about, or not usually, it becomes a scenario of who you know, not what you know. And I've got a few examples I can give, but in one particular example, which weren't so long ago, I was given a chance to move forward. Now, if you watched one of my particular videos about my story, well, that's what it was called, my story, and just the odd rant, was the case that I was not begging, but I was trying my hardest to come off the road. After I'd been diagnosed with a cancer and had the operation, I don't feel like I've ever been the same. And you know, my abilities and my limits were pretty much limited for quite a long time, and still are, because obviously as you get older you develop other things. I mean, it's just part of life really, you just got to get on with it. So I decided, you know, an opportunity had come up, and it was going to then turn into, rather than 100% driving and loading up, shall I say, it was then going to become the opposite way round. It was going to be probably 75% of office work and 25% driving, which I thought, do you know what, after all these years, I think I can give myself some credit. I've never really been unemployed,
speed camera ahead,
and to be honest with you, when I leave one job I go into the next job. So all the bullshit that people say, oh, there's no work out there, I think personally your expectations are a little bit high. Money's money, don't matter what you do, as long as you do it with a bit of pride, that's all it counts for. Anyway, going back, so I was given a bit of a chance. I had a really good operations manager at the time, and I won't say what it was. It was that person decided, you know, they'd pull me in and say, look, I know your situation with your cancer, and you know, you're having to go for treatment, blah blah blah. You don't ever cause us any problems in any way. You're on time, you never take time off, and this is what is on offer at the moment. So that person went through the motions of telling me about what the position entailed, and also they said to me, well, you know, there's going to be very little driving, you'll have to do assessments, so obviously we'll train you up for that, blah blah blah. And tell me what you think. For me, it was a no-brainer. I just thought, well, you know, I like working with people, I get on with everyone, very rarely fall out. Some people, they just, you know, it comes of that where they don't really like me, but it's only because, truth be known, is I just don't sugarcoat shit. I'll just say it the way it is. It's easier to say it than it is to be a mamby-pamby butterfly around things. You know, it's just not right. And though I did say, you know, I would like to think about it. So a couple of days went past, you know, went home, and though I strongly believed that I may have been suitable for the job, I thought I'd still do the right thing. And
After 0.6
I'll go through
right,
the pros and the cons, and obviously spoke to her again, and just thought, well, you know, went back the week after, and I said, yeah, I'd like to apply for it if that's okay. And they said, yes, you can. And yeah, I applied for it. You know, there was a few other people that were applying for it as well. So, you know, it was a sort of job I didn't really want to hold my hopes up on, because it was, you've got to be in it to win it, you know. So if there's other people that have just entered it, then at the end of the day, I believe everyone deserves a chance, regardless of your colour, your ethnicity, your size, your sex, race, anything. Everybody deserves a chance. So, you know, I applied for it, and then within a week, when they interviewed everyone, I had to go through the stages of interview, which is only fair. I don't believe that anything should be done underhanded, because I then think it becomes unfair, and it's just not morally right. I don't think it's morally right. So anyway, it turns out that two people couldn't be accepted for the job because they just didn't fit the criteria. One of them didn't fit the criteria because obviously he didn't hold a driver's license as such, HGV, and I actually ticked all the boxes. Like I said before as well in other videos, when I go to work, I don't mind having a laugh, but when I'm working, I'm pretty serious. I get it over and done with, and I say all banter and laughs for later, which I think obviously that's the right way of doing things. No, it's probably the mature side of me, which obviously, if people know me, I can be immature sometimes, yeah, I'll admit to it, but I like to have a bit of banter. A bit of banter at work, you know, it makes the day go a bit quicker, makes the job a bit more fun, and, you know, it just keeps you smiling for most part of the day. Anyway, I was told I was going to be trained for this and trained for that, as you do. I totally believe that person. Unfortunately, the people that I was set to work with, I don't feel that they had given me a fighting chance. Though I can say if they tried to do what I do, they would fail miserably. But because I was new to what they were doing, it was pretty much tell him once, that does that, this does that, this does that. But naturally, I'm keen, I like to learn, and I'll keep asking questions, and I'll always warn people about that. I will ask and keep asking questions until I nail it. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. In fact, hell, the only time I think there's something wrong is when you don't ask questions and then you fuck right up. Because the question will be is, if you didn't know, why didn't you ask? So I like to make sure I know my shit before I go in there. Anyway, you know, time went on, and you always end up with one person minimum, or a few people. They'll, you know, have a bit of verbal joke with you, and the boundaries get pushed all the time, and you seem to think, well, hold up, I think we're getting a bit too personal now. And as a joke, you all say to them, I think you should kind of control the level of what you're talking, because that's quite personal. So it gets to a stage where people think they're comfortable with you, and they think you're comfortable with them. I'm never comfortable with colleagues, never. I'll always watch my mouth, and I'll try my utmost best to keep a civil tongue in my head. There's a difference between banter and insult. So you'll get the case of you know, they'll ask where I was originated from. Well, I originated from Great Britain. I was born and bred, and I've even got the stamp on my arse to prove it. My parents were of Turkish origin, which I am proud of my heritage, but it's obviously something I can't change. Then my name is Tariq. You know, I didn't choose that name, my parents chose it. I'd never change it because it's part of my identity. So I am proud of it. But what I don't like is when people sit there and they'll take the fucking piss out of my name or my heritage. Bearing in mind, I think, you know, I might be just a truck driver. I might be thick in some people's eyes. I don't really care what they think, really. But I think I'm intelligent in comparison to a lot of people. I'm bilingual to 4 languages. Though if I do get into a verbal argument, it does become a bit confusing because you never know which language to throw out first. And I think I get on well with 99% of the people around me, and that's the key part of life. Accept people for who they are, not for what they are. Now, I've had in cases where all you people are the same. Well, I mean, what the fuck does that even mean? What does it mean? All you people are the same. So I challenged it, and when I stated to them, I think actually that's quite a racial orientated comment, they'll deny it. And then the first thing they'll say is, I have black friends. What has having black friends got to do with it? Any nationality can be racist. We are not born racist. We are taught racism. We are taught about different types of race. We are taught how to treat people, and we inherit that from our parents and their parents, and even more so their parents. Then it becomes the case of that is now passed down in heritage, which is quite unfair, really, onto the new generation, because they seem to think it's the norm. Well, I don't think it is. I was brought up in a multicultural area. And I believe that, you know, treat people with respect and you'll get respected. So going back to the institutionalised racism, my by example. I mean, this has gone on for years. I've grown a thick skin to it, and I brush it off because I just put it down to ignorance. Really, as you get older, I think to myself, well, I ain't really got time to put these people straight. They're arrogant, they're ignorant, obnoxious. The usual scenario was when we upped sticks and we moved down to South Coast. I found that there's a lot of racism that goes on, but people try to do it as a joke. Now, I can assure you there's nothing fucking funny about having racist remarks given to you. As the case that it's hurtful, it's spiteful, and quite frankly, if some of these people actually realise and done their history on themselves, they would then realise. They would then realise that they are not of the heritage purely of what they think it is. Because if it was in that case, if they thought that they were pure English, if they looked up their ancestral lines, they probably originated from like France, Scotland, Norway, many countries around. Just because you're born in that country, it doesn't necessarily mean you're purely from that country. And they tend to kind of stick around in little clans, and you know, we are the superior. Right, now I can say, if people went and done their homeworks on their ancestry history, they would find out that they are descendant from elsewhere. There's something I didn't know. Someone like, I don't want to go off the subject quickly. Someone like Boris Johnson, his grandfather was half Turkish. His grandfather's name was Osman Ali. Then, when Osman Ali came to England, he then changed his name. But he is of Turkish descendant. Yes, Boris Johnson. Now, going back to the main bit about institutionalised racism in workplaces. So basically, someone like me and many other hundreds and thousands of people in my position who were born and bred in this country, we stand for patriotism. Although being of Turkish origin, I believe I am British. I was born here, and I will always say I am of Turkish origin, but I was born and bred in England. Obviously, you've got the small clan of people that will say, "Oh, I'm Turkish." What nationality are you? I'm Turkish. Right. Well, good luck to you. Oh, you was born there, was you? No. Then you're bloody British. Then you're muppet. All you got to do is use your fucking savvy. You are the nationality of where you were born, not where your parents are from. So I've found that in many cases over the past, I've applied for certain positions within companies, and it seems to be that they'll take on someone who's had a bad track record over me, and other people in my case as well, and it'll just go on and on and on. And to begin with, you think, do you know what, it's just a job, it's just a position, it was done fairly and squarely. No, it wasn't. And what accreditation was that interview set up at? Because for a job, you need to do a job, you need certain experience. You don't need to have the look of the face. Where I've got blonde hair and blue eyes, where I've got a bald head and a black beard, whether I've got a black face, whether I've got dark hair and tan skin, that's irrelevant. Now, if a company owner used his brain and thought, do you know what, actually the guy that we're looking at, he's got a lot of knowledge on what we do,
After 600
he would be the
feet, enter
perfect candidate for
take
that
the second
particular
exit
position.
Towards A26, towards Maidstone.
So this is now classed as
Enter the
institutionalised
roundabout, take the
racism.
second exit.
When it goes on a lot of times and you're actually been with the company for, say, 3 to 5 years, and you've applied for umpteen positions, then it gets to the case of you say to yourself, oh, hold up, am I doing something wrong? I'll always go to that one level further. Where I'll always question, well, the person that you've accepted has only been within the company for 2 years. They've hardly got any knowledge and hardly any experience. And suddenly, you're blowing smoke up their fucking arses. Or the sun shines from the wrong place, if you know what I mean. And this goes on and on and on. This has been going on for years. This has been going on for decades and years. And nothing's ever been looked at it as such, because no one wants to so-called rock the fucking boat. There is no one that wants to stand in unity. Now, I'm not saying I want to have it more fair for me. No, I want it fair for everyone, because it does become discriminating after a while. And what companies don't seem to think is that basically
the speed limit is 30 miles per hour. Slow down.
You know, I could raise legal issues with companies, but I'd have to sit there and prove it. But the thing is, to have witnesses, there'd only be certain people that will witness, and it probably wouldn't be enough. And it certainly won't be in the group that you want to get into. Not because you want to be with them people, but you actually want to gain the job. Now, what is disgraceful is that when you've got people fighting against you, and you're now fighting a losing battle, sometimes it's easier to put your tools down and say, do you know what, I actually give up on this, because it's not worth a fucking wank. Because that's the point where you start going home, getting stressed out. You start overthinking, over-analysing things, and I will always sit there and analyse. I could watch a telly and analyse things to an extent where it'll start off as a trunk, it'll start off and then go into a stem, and then a branch, and then a twiglet, and then a leaf, and all these ideas will spiral, and in the end it boils down to one thing. Again, institutionalised racism. My case on one of my last organisations I worked for was, I feel it was institutionalised racism. I actually was taken out of work due to health reasons for 2 weeks. When I returned, my position wasn't actually advertised, but it was fulfilled before I got back with someone who, yes, might have been in the industry for a long time,
after 1,000 feet.
but was someone that's obviously spent half their life winging a job, and wants to tell people what they want to hear, not what it's supposed to be. And do you know what? I mean, the truth does hurt some people. It is quite hurtful these individuals don't realise what sort of problem they cause. I dare not say anything anymore because you can't fix ignorance. And
where possible.
the be all and end all is that this goes on and has been going on for years. I just like to put the word out to a lot of companies and say to them, give us a second, sorry chaps. Hello mate, where do you want me to put this? On the side, yeah? Okay mate, alright. I'd rather not say anything in the end because it gets boring, and the people in my position that have been in my position would actually know what that means. It just goes on and on and on and on, and you end up getting fed up with it. And you think to yourself, if I actually been born to teach people, I'm not a teacher. These people are older. They're supposed to be wiser. These people are professional. Should I be teaching them life values? Like I said, at the end of the day, these people, you know, they're pretty much a shame to the industry, really, because it does go on a lot, and it is absolutely disgraceful, and you know, it goes on, and it's really sad because a lot of people that surround people like me, they will never understand what it's about. The upset it causes is unbelievable, which could lead to many things from there onwards. Depression is one of them. I mean, hell, I don't even know if I suffer with depression because I'm from the generation that just kind of got on with it. But like I said, you know, when I'm going to work, I play judge and jury in the car. So sometimes it's nice for me to do a vlog because I just don't want people outside thinking I'm fucking crazy and talking to myself. And it's really sad to know that this actually goes on, and I just wish it would stop, and I wish it would stop for other people in my case, because I think at the end of the day, holding someone back because of their ethnicity and giving them all the crappy little jobs to do that no one else wants to do, that is not acceptable. That is not giving someone promotion. That is using someone like a fucking dog. And in fact, you wouldn't treat a dog like that, because I'll tell you what, if you treated a dog like that, the motherfucker will bite you in the end. And to be honest with you, I just think that these are the sort of people that are put into the runnings of a company. I mean, there's not just one place. There's many companies I've worked for. I've been held back, and like I said, there's hundreds of thousands of people out in the world or in the country that are just like me. You know, all they want to do is better themselves, because as you get older, you think to yourself, well, I don't want to stay doing what I'm doing, so I've learnt that bit. I've got it off to a T. I want to learn a little bit more. I'm interested into moving up in life. I want a bit of extra money on my pay, and that's what it's always about. I want a bit of responsibility. And when someone gives you something very unpromising and they promise you the bloody world, then you start to realise what humanity's about. So, I mean, it's just a fault. It's just a fault. And, you know, I just think, is it right that this should go on? Is it right that this does happen? How would they feel if they were in my shoes? and I just think it's quite disgraceful. I do think that people have become slightly better, but the racism within a workplace still goes on, and I think it is a taboo. There are a lot of people that don't like talking about it. It's not about whether they like it or not. I think personally they just like to avoid it because they seem to think it might cause complications. I have brought up within letters before about how I've been denied something, and actually did state I think it was because of my ethnicity, not using it as a joker card, but because that position had actually come up quite numerous times, and in the end I just thought, do you know what, I actually don't, I think it's because of my credentials. I haven't got anything. People naturally look at me, black hair, black eyebrows, you know, I know, I'm sorry I haven't shaved, but you know, oh, he's got a black beard, or he's got a tan skin, and he's foreign. Until I open my mouth, and then boom, an accent comes out, which I can't help it, because I can't help where I was born and bred. I can't help the way I was born, and I can't help the way I am. But I think it's disgraceful how people strongly judge me on the colour and the ethnicity of me, rather than looking at the ability for me to do their job. Would that not make more sense? Companies would thrive a bit more and have clever people rather than corruption. So, I mean, it's just something for you guys to have a think about. Doesn't matter where you're from and who you are. It's what you know. Just remember that. So I hope you all have a good weekend. Stay dry and stay safe. And hopefully I'll see you guys on the next vlog. Thank you very much for watching my video. If you like it, subscribe. If you like it also, you know, share the link and ask others to give it a watch and tell me what you think. Okay, see you all later.